16 years old and Erling Haaland is standing in a Molde locker room, coached by a man who once wore the Manchester United crest and scored some of the most famous goals in Premier League history. Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't see a finished product. He sees raw speed, an awkward frame, a boy who hasn't grown into his own legs yet, and a work ethic he recognizes from his own career. The first season is quiet, a handful of goals, patience. Then, on a July night in 2018, something breaks open. 4 goals in 21 minutes against league leaders Brann, the fastest 4-goal haul of his young career. 16 goals across 30 matches by year's end. The elite Syrian names him Breakthrough Player of the Year. Clubs across Europe start making calls, including quietly his own father's old club, Leeds United. But it isn't Leeds who wins the race. On the first day of 2019, Red Bull Salzburg announces his signing. Austria isn't the glamour league, it isn't where legends are supposed to be made, but it's a stage with Champions League lights, and Haaland treats it like a proving ground. He barely plays at first. Then the door opens and he doesn't just walk through it, he sprints. 28 goals in 20 appearances before the year's through. 8 of them in the Champions League group stage alone, the most any teenager had ever scored in the competition. In November 2019, away in Belgium against Genk, he scores a hat-trick in 9 minutes. Football writers start running out of comparisons. By December, Manchester United is circling, Manchester City is watching. Juventus, Real Madrid, the biggest clubs on the continent, all want the same 19-year-old from a small town in Norway. Instead, he chooses Borussia Dortmund, a club with a reputation for turning bright young talent into the finished article and a stage even bigger than Salzburg's. He debuts on the 18th of January 2020 away at Augsburg, coming off the bench with his team down 3-1. 23 minutes later, he has a hat-trick. It is the fastest debut treble in Bundesliga history. He follows it with a brace against Cologne, another hat-trick against Union Berlin, 7 goals in his first 3 matches, 8 in his first 4, 9 in his first 6. Nobody in the history of the competition had ever started like this. The goals don't slow down. A scissor kick against Schalke that his own captain calls sensational. A Champions League run where he becomes the youngest player ever to reach 20 goals in the competition, needing only 14 matches to do it, 7 months after turning 20. By the time injuries and time catch up to his Dortmund career, the numbers read like a typo: 86 goals in 89 games. A DFB Pokal trophy lifted in front of his own supporters, scored from the penalty spot in his final appearance for the club. Every major club in world football wants him now. The release clause is public. The suitors are relentless. Real Madrid's history, Barcelona's aura, Bayern Munich's ambition. But it's Manchester City and Pep Guardiola who close the deal. 60 million euros in the summer of 2022, barely a fraction of what a striker with this record should cost. His City debut season doesn't ease him in. It obliterates the record books. 36 goals in the Premier League alone, the most any player has ever scored in a single season of England's top flight. 52 in all competitions, another record that had never been touched. A Premier League Golden Boot, a European Golden Shoe, and at the end of it all, the treble, League, FA Cup, and Champions League, completed in his very first year in England. From a small indoor pitch in Brine, to Molde's cold northern coastline, to the lights of Salzburg, to the yellow wall of Dortmund, to the blue of Manchester,